first precedent is the Oculus, proposed for New York City. It's a mixed-use building. The purpose of it is to create a sense of community and self-efficiency by using the building to collect, develop and sustain the natural resources for the benefit of nature and man. The proposal utilises the collection of rainwater and filtered grey water which runs down the structure of the facade of the building for the farmland. It utilises solar and wind power and has nature preserves for wild bird life. The layout of the different programs within the structure is relevant to my ideal city. In order to not create separate districts for different uses which at certain times of the day are left unused, I will mix the programs throughout, creating a mixed-use city. The ideals behind this project are also very similar to the ideals behind my city. I'm also trying to create a harmony between nature and man through the use of vertical farming and a mixed-use program to create a sense of community. My next precedent is Garden Cities of Tomorrow by Ebenezer Howard. He imagined a utopian city where people would live harmoniously with nature. He said human society and the beauty of nature are meant to be enjoyed together. These cities would be circular in shape and grown in a radial manner. They would bring together all the best aspects of city and town life to form a utopian garden city. He said town and country must be united, and out of the joyous union will spring a new hope, a new life and a new civilization. So the arrangement of his utopian city in a circular shape with rings of program is interesting in relation to my city, because I imagine that my ideal city will grow in the same way and possibly in the same shape. Howard's ideals for his utopian city also align with the ideals of mine. The re-establishment of the connection between man with nature to bring the best of city and country life together. A negative, however, to Howard's proposal, I think, is the separation of the different programs into different rings of activity. My ideal city, I imagine, will combine all the different programs together to create a mixed use form. So this one is a concept for a project in China called Asian Cans. It aims to reintroduce natural ecosystems into cities. The architect says, the garden is no more placed by side to the building, it is the building. He proposes that the residents of each tower would also work on the farmland throughout. The towers are fully self-sustaining, energy is sourced from the sun and wind, and anything produced is recyclable. He says the architecture becomes cultivable, eatable and nutritive. The ideals behind the Asian Cans are similar to the ideals of my city. I am also wanting to reintroduce the natural environment to the city through vertical community farming. Also the layout of different kinds of programs within each of the pebbles and the mixed use nature of the building is what my ideal city would try to achieve. A negative of this project, I think, is the lack of connection between each of the separate towers. This would not solve the problem of communities becoming more and more isolated from each other. This project is a proposal for a competition entry. It's called Diffused Boundaries. This is a proposal to change the way people perceive, use and experience space. They propose it that as the cities grow upwards, we'll need to leave behind the strict separation between programs and public and private realms. Their proposal tries to create a way to blur the boundaries between these separations. So this project is interesting in relation to my ideal city. The definition and connections between my social spaces will be very important so that the city doesn't just feel like a factory of people working in the farms and then going home to their private residences. So I will look at this proposal and the way they've organised these spaces and the connections between them.